And we are back.
Yes, finally here to review the season finale of The Circle. I will say right now, as a finale, I don't think we have a ton to say, but what's going to make up for is that we actually do have quite a few guests this time around, Allie. So we're going to go ahead and introduce them right now.
We couldn't exactly get everyone, but we got as many as we could.
Yeah, we couldn't get everyone on, but we did get a decent amount of people, which is great. You've seen basically all of them, I think, before, but we're going to introduce them anyway. He's been on for the Big Brother podcast beforehand, and I think he's going to be back when we talk about the Big Brother 23 finale, like right after this. So here he is, Jacob.
Hey guys, I decided to play as myself during this podcast. I hope you guys appreciate that. Please don't target me. I'm not a catfish. It's been an honor to come back to this podcast. And the BB23 finale, absolutely, I'm going to be coming for that because I have a lot to say about this season. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Also here, always appreciate their insight, and we're very happy to have them on. It's our regular for the Ascendance coverage. We have Sean.
Hey. Oh my god, I was doing weird stuff. Sorry, I'm here.
You're all good. Also here, she's currently going through a bit of a fiasco with Uber Eats, as she usually does, but we're very happy to have her here. It's Jen.
Hey, fam. So I ordered alcohol on Uber Eats, as I do, and they canceled. So you know what? I'm optimistic. I ordered a second time from a different place. What happens? They cancel it too.
Oh my god!
They wanted you to be sober for the conversation with Kely. That's
so now,
they want you to have something eventful to talk about, you know.
And so now I just ordered for a third time, but instead of getting rum, I'm just gonna get some Trulies.
It's always a good choice. But also, the last person here, someone we've been trying to get her on for The Circle for a long time, Allie, and finally we were able to get her here. We have the legendary Grace Anse.
Hey, what's up? I'm tired as hell. That's why I woke up from a nap. That's why I'm laying down. But I got my pumpkin spice ice latte.
I mean, it's kind of accurate to my thoughts on this season, not gonna lie. Yeah, we're very happy to have you.
It has more flavor in the season.
Also, pumpkin spice is like the best thing ever.
Yes. So before we do go ahead and talk about this finale, we didn't get a lot of guests on at all when it comes to this season, Allie. So I think the best thing to do is we're just going to go around. Everyone give your thoughts on how you felt about this season overall, and then we can get a bit more into this finale. Whoever wants to start, go right ahead. Jacob, you can start. You're raising your hand.
Okay, so let me share. I don't want to start and then Jen starts with a great start. I don't want to. But here's a pro. Other than a particular individual on this podcast stands, all the people I like made it to the end.
Yes.
That's good.
Wow.
That's a positive. How many of those people I liked is all of the story.
Oh wow. You liked everybody in the Fun 5?
I'll keep it concise for now because we're gonna go into the depth. I'm guessing we're gonna go into depth about particularly all 5 of the finalists, and I'll rant over there. But okay.
I'd say overall, like season 3 of the U.S. Circle, definitely third out of 3. Like definitely, like I don't know, just didn't stand next to the other 2. Like the other 2 were so good, and all 3 of the UK seasons were so much better than this one. And I just really had a hard time rooting for a lot of the people on this season. So but it's whatever.
All right, I guess I can go. I was just seeing if Sean would go before me, but it's something whenever I watch episodes of a full season and I watch it in its entirety, this means I'm usually entertained and I love the season a lot. seasons 1 and 2, I watched the episodes in whole in the 40 something minutes they lasted all the way through. And through those episodes, I always had excitement. It was like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Especially in season 2. But this season here, I could not finish the full episodes in whole. I didn't finish the third batch, and I only watched very little of the finale. And it wasn't because, I didn't have time, I didn't watch it. It's just because this season was just not on the same level as the other two were. And I did not get that same, it was predictable, and I didn't get that same excitement whatsoever like I did the first 2 seasons. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
All right. Well, before we do go over to Sean, I want to welcome our surprise guest here. We do have Marcelo here to join us.
Hello!
I'm at work, but I want to hop on here and talk about how I'm not if you're watching this review, hop into my DMs, please. Thank you. And that's it. Continue on talking.
Okay. All right, Sean, if you want to give your thoughts. I know you watched the whole season for sure, so.
Yeah, as someone who watched the entire season, aka just episode 1 and the finale episode. But as far from what I read on Twitter and just clips and videos, gameplay, it was entertaining just to see 2 sides go at it, having 2 sides on the circle, that's never been a thing. But as far as the game itself and the players, other than one person, again, I guess the final 5, it was all right. 3 out of 3, like Jen said.
Yeah. Definitely pretty weak overall. And speaking of weak, let's get into this finale, because I'll be honest with y'all,
I think this season was just really boring.
Yeah, I think so too. I really struggled
what the season needed?
What?
I'll tell you what the season needed. This season needed me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we needed Marcelo to be on the circle. Give us someone else to root for, because there just weren't many people to root for at the end of the day. We've talked about this. I feel like most of the season, people are playing Kay's game, people are playing Nick's game, not necessarily playing for themselves as much. And I think some of them, that's not the case, but I feel like it very much did catch up to some of them in this episode, but not necessarily in the way that I would have expected it to. I don't think, similar to this final 5, this is not at all what I would have expected to happen in this finale. So I will say that definitely the way things panned out was not what I would have expected to happen.
Yeah, I had a feeling Nick wasn't winning, which is good.
I mean, yeah, we'll definitely get into that, but I did not expect for the actual rankings to turn out the way they did. But we'll just go ahead and get into
somewhat. I had a feeling Nick would be 4th or 5th.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get into this finale a bit more. So we do start off, and we see everyone wakes up. They receive this alert from Michelle that they've made it all the way to the finale, and lets them know that one of them is going to win today. However, they do have one last task, which is of course to rate each other for the last time. And what I liked about this is that everyone's unsure if they're going to rate strategically or go with their heart. We saw how much that backfired for Courtney last season, so I like that everyone was generally contemplating which they were going to do. So before they all rate each other for the last time, they're given this spa treatment, and we get to see them have a little spa day, which was cool, I guess. But the news feed is updated. They all watch Jacki's message, and she brings up how she wanted to be 100% herself, and she believes that she really did accomplish that. And James talks about the guilt that he felt with blocking Jacki and how that was relieved once they met and had a conversation. This is probably one of the more crucial scenes of the episode. It does show that James had a really strong social game. Even when he ended up cutting people, most of the time they were not upset. Daniel was obviously not happy with what ended up happening, but we could see that Jacki really wasn't upset that James blocked her at all. So I do think it does show the type of game that James played in terms of his social ability. again, like I've said before, I just don't understand the move. Like, why Jacki? Why did you go for Jacki? I just didn't really understand it.
That was just a very confusing move for him.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Well, I didn't watch the episode, like I said, in its entirety, but I kind of feel a reason that led her to get blocked was that she was not there as long as everyone else was. And I feel that's the one thing I will say I did not like about this season. Jacki was such a good character. Why did they wait until the third fucking batch, the end of the third batch, to bring her into the game? Like, that was so, literally, you bring her in that late, you're literally setting her up to get blocked because the other people are going to be like, hey, she was not here as long as the rest of us were. So why do we need to do that?
If she was like in way longer, I feel like she would have made the final 5. But yeah, just because of that, I feel like the main reason is just because she wasn't there long.
Yeah, no,
They literally, that is what pissed me off. They literally set that, and that's another reason what sets this season. I think in season 1 and 2, they did not bring anybody as late as they did to her. They literally fucked her up.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Marcelo.
Well, what I was saying is, like, season 1 they brought Ed back, or not Ed back, but season 1 they brought Ed to like the last couple episodes. Season 2 they brought I don't know. But the point
Jack and Lisa.
Yeah, but like they made Final 5, whatever. But I think my point is that there's like you can always tell who's going to be 5th, who's going to get 6th place because it's usually someone who hasn't been there. And I'm like agreeing with what Grace was saying. Like a lot of people who aren't there for the remainder of the season, like they get blocked, they get 5th, they get all that type of stuff. So it's kind of just like shitty, but the tea. So
yeah, I definitely think that's something they need
to.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something they need to adjust at some point. It's like if you're gonna have someone, come back, have it be like, say what they did with Jack and Lisa, where like they can come back as like another player. Like don't have another. I mean,
they tried to do that
for no reason.
They tried to do that this season, but they did it so terribly. And I thought they should have done that later. What they did later in the season and not right at the beginning where there's a bunch of people playing around.
Yeah, the whole thing was just like pointless.
It ended up being really pointless. And also it didn't help to kind of throw in that. I know it's going back to the first batch, but it didn't help either how the 2 people who returned were not very strong players in my opinion.
Yeah.
So there was not much
they were
done
pretty
with
terrible. Yeah. So just in general, a lot of very confusing decisions, I would say, in terms of twists this season, which was one of the things that really hindered the season for me. But we see that Kay does believe that Nick and James were the secret influencers since she was saved. So again, another twist that was botched because everyone could tell who it was. So, but basically they all go to one last circle chat. Everyone brings up like how great of a girl that Jacki seemed, but they're all happy that they're still there and are proud of the journey that they've had together. And then we get to the final rankings, which Allie's going to tell you about.
The players then get an alert. It's time to make their final rankings. They all go through each person one by one. And Nick feels like they feel like Nick has played an incredible game, but it isn't in their best interest to rank him high, which is good. I had a feeling that would be the case.
Yeah, that was smart. I was happy that because I was really worried, honestly, that like with Ashley and like Sophia, they were gonna be like, or like Matthew and Sophia, they were just gonna be like, all right, let's just rank him high because we work closely with him. So I like that they actually realized like, no, we can't do that because
I just had a feeling he was not winning just because people would realize that he's a threat.
Yeah, which I was so happy about.
And then Kay, they may have...
Before I get into... Oh, sorry. I was going to say...
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just... Sorry, I was just going to... Before
I get into it, I was gonna because I kind of want to add on to the Nick thing a little bit. This is who I'm catfishing as. Literally catfishing. Anyways, so we had a chat for this, and y'all specifically heard me to say agree. I said Nick is not winning the damn thing.
No,
because I knew that was gonna happen. He got favored so strongly to where they were like not going to give him that win. I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was happy that at the last second they were like, nope, not happening. Because like I literally said that I was terrified that he was going to end up winning the game just because of like how well positioned he was. And I'm happy that at that point it's like, okay, he's probably not winning. It was definitely like a nice sigh of relief. So yeah. Okay. Now you can talk about Kay.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I lost where I was on the notes.
Oh, it's talking about when they talk about Kay.
Okay. Kay may have been a threat the whole game, but somehow has made it all the way to the end, which they think is very impressive. And then James, they feel he's a threat to win, but very trustworthy. Isabella, many of them feel she's a catfish, but seem to respect her game overall. And then Ashley, everyone loves how much she has grown and has been very trustworthy to many people.
And something I noticed, like right from here, is like there's really not a lot to say about many of these players, and I think really shows about the weak games that they played. Like there just isn't much to say. They didn't have much of a story because much of it was like, oh, well, I work closely with Nick, I work closely with Kay. Like there just wasn't much going on.
It was literally the Nick and Kay show. You're either on Nick's side or Kay's side.
That's what the sides were, and like I said, adding on to Nick, I knew that Kay and Nick were definitely not winning because those two literally, it's been their show, especially the next show, the whole season. And like I said in the chat, I said no. That's the first thing I remember saying to you guys. I said yeah, Nick is definitely, because people have. Look at what he's done. He's had cakes made after him. He's been influencer who knows how many times during the season. Mm-hmm. I kind of knew that he was gonna get the Courtney and Lee scenario where last season they got ranked lower because those two of their games that they played. And they ended up getting 4th and 5th. And I knew that was going to happen to Nick. And then Kay was I knew Kay was 3rd or 4th. It wasn't going to be 1st or 2nd. No, it was going to be 3rd or 4th for me because of that same reason.
As much as you're right, I was still like, I was holding out hope. I'm like, okay, just give me Kay as the winner. That's what matters here. But we'll talk about what ended up happening. Allie, go to the next person.
Well, okay, so they do the rankings. Kay ranks James at number 1, obviously. Nick ranks Isabella at 1, Kay at 4. Sophia ranks Ashley at 1. James ranks Ashley at 2.
Smart.
And then Matthew ranks Nick at 3.
Yeah, I thought that Sophia and Matthew were both very smart here to not put Nick at 1. Like I said, I thought they were going to, and I'm happy to see that they, at the last second, are like, yeah, no, we're not going to let him win. So I thought that was, like I said, a really good moment. But we do get to see basically everyone is invited to one last circle chat. Of course, this one is done in person. I'll just say right now, this was not very exciting. Usually this is like the fun part of the finale. We get to see everyone meet each other. But I think what happened this time around is everyone was like so obvious minus one person that there just wasn't anything like particularly shocking here. I think the most interesting one happens at first where, Nick is the one to show up and then is told that Isabella's on the way and he's like really excited to see her. And then he sees Sophia, and even though he was like laughing about it, you could see he was pretty crushed. He was like, oh no, the girl I've been like simping over all season, like is not real. And he you can just see
at the end of the day, he found a new girl to simp over in Rachel.
Yeah. I mean, that was literally
who was actually the hot blonde that Nick has been flirting with, but it's a different person.
Yeah.
No, literally, like I said,
I feel like I either feel like he's gonna either get with Rachel or he's gonna get with Ava.
I literally said on here, the only reason Nick started playing the game is because his girl was eliminated. That's literally it. Like, if Ava wasn't eliminated, he probably would still just be flirting and chilling. But, you know, that's not what happened, obviously. So they meet up. He's surprised to see that she wasn't real. He doesn't seem totally thrilled about it either, but he does try to hide it. She explains who she really is and why she decided to catfish everyone, and he claims that she didn't break his heart. And I put in parentheses that I really beg to differ about that, because I feel like he, like I said, was pretty heartbroken by what happened. But she tells him that beside the picture and her sexuality, everything else was true, and he wonders why she didn't just come in as herself. And so she brings up how she felt if she played this beautiful blonde straight woman, she'd find better connections, and she absolutely did need him and the band. And they're both very proud of how they dominated this season. And then we get a bunch of other redundant meetups that Allie's gonna bring up.
I also feel the Nick thing is in comparison. Nick, it's really, and I actually felt really bad for Nick in that case. And then I felt when the same thing happened to Chloe, she flirting with Delisa, saw Delisa was a woman, and we saw how upset she looked. And she was like, no, I'm not. She looked really upset.
No, she was distraught.
She was, but I feel like Chloe took it in stride, whereas Nick was like, oh, I'm fine. Like, he was trying to, like, mask it, and you could tell he was, like, not happy. Like, I think Chloe did a better job. Especially because her and Delisa are, like, best friends now, so.
Oh, yeah, they are. I love the friendship so much, especially when they were doing the interviews and stuff for this season. Their bond is just so unique and special, and I really love their friendship.
And there was nothing like that this season. Well, there was. It was Kay and Calvin, but then that got, shut down after like the first few episodes. And I was very upset because I was like, they're going to be the hardest season.
But I don't think we need to worry about things. Every time I go on Instagram, Calvin's always calling her a queen and sending heart to all of her photos. So
are they dating yet?
I
don't want to be surprised.
I'm not sure.
They can be. Hopefully, they won't turn out like a Christian and Alyssa.
I mean, technically, Christian and Alyssa are not even split up.
Yeah, they're still together. They're just like on a break.
They're still together. I think they're just taking it slow.
Yeah, pretty much. So, all right. Who's the next face-to-face meetup, Allie?
All right. James is next to meet everyone, and Sophia explains why she wanted to do this, which was to be just like her. Nick also explains to him he wasn't a drummer, and James says the two of them were never going to have a deep connection besides competition, and he says he felt the same with both him and Kai. Kay. Oh my god, I'm the worst. You do that
every episode.
I always
at least once an episode, Alex says Kai instead of Kay.
I would say Kai and Danielle.
Yeah, you have done that too.
Whenever I say the name Daniel, I always end up saying Danielle. Nick also explains to him he wasn't a drummer. James says the two of them were never going to have a deep connection besides competition, and he says he felt the same with both him and Kay. They both admit they were also players A and B, and Nick confesses to the fact he was Vince, and he explains how he was able to obtain that. And James is surprised to find out he was in a group chat with two variations of Nick, and that his ghost story was completely made up.
Which again, I mean, the fact they fell for this, I'm still like shocked about. Like, I just don't know how they fell for this because it just felt so obvious to me. But I don't know. Maybe it's like different when you're actually playing the game. I don't know. But anyway, we get to the next meetup here. Kay's the next to meet everyone. Sophia's convinced that she isn't real at first, which I was not happy about. I'm like, can we stop with the catfish allegations? But obviously she was, and Sophia brings up how she felt she was just so good at the game that she had to be a catfish, which is like, okay, fine. And Kay then brings up how she went back and forth with Nick Nick the most throughout the whole game with how loyal he was to her. And Sophia says that she never knew where she stood aside from Ruksana. And that's because you never reached out to her, Sophia. So like that's your fault, not hers. But anyway, Kay's surprised to find out that Vince was Nick, especially when he ended up hyping himself up so much. And that's all we really get with Kay. Like I said, these face-to-face meetups are pretty dry overall. There's not much going on here.
I'm restraining myself from just erupting because of the people that we're talking about, but I'll hold myself back.
Yeah.
Proceed.
All right, Allie, the next person. No, it's back to you.
Before, sorry, I was spying. I was spying on Kay's Instagram, but
as you should.
It's me and looking at the Calvin. Calvin really simps this girl so hard. But anyways, my favorite thing about Kay coming in the room was that she did. It was just a big old fuck you to. I really like Sophia. I thought she was a really good character. I thought she was one of the stronger characters this season. But she kept saying, Kay's a catfish, Kay's a catfish, Kay's a catfish. And I'm just like, no, this is when Kay just walk in the room and prove you wrong because you're the actual catfish.
Okay, I actually like Sophia as a person. I just didn't like that.
Yeah. The fact that she was constantly targeting this black woman. I wish that she
played. I will say, my favorite thing from the third batch of those that I did see was Sophia actually quitting all the messiness, stepping up and actually having a conversation with Kay. That really, that means she was for an opportunity.
Yeah, that was a good moment. But even that I was like, okay, so why do you still think she's a catfish? Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I like when they finally had a conversation.
Yeah, that was a good reconciliation.
She finally was like, why didn't I work with her?
Yeah. I'm actually now looking at the comments now, circle message. You are my happiness, the only treasure I adore with complete fashion. The sun is rising in the sky, but to me, the day doesn't start until you've risen out. But get a room.
That's so good. I'm here for it. All right. Allie, talk about the last meetup with Matthew.
Okay. All right. Matthew is the last to meet with everyone. They are shocked to find out he was a catfish, and he explains that it worked because he's gayer than sin, but he does make it clear everything he said about his coming out story was true to both Sophia and James. He said he didn't think any of them were catfishes. He said he came in as Ashley because his whole life he came in with his heart on his sleeve, but he knew he couldn't do that with the masculine sides. But as Ashley, he could do that. They all agree the sides were obvious, and they didn't care that the other side knew. Sophia admits she was kind of a monster to Kay, and Matthew explains how he was the driving force behind getting Calvin out, and that while Nick was a strong player, he was in his alliance. They all toast. And Nick and Michelle then congratulates them, and that they will be crowning the winner soon.
Yeah, I think this was definitely the most eventful out of all the face-to-face meetups besides the one with Nick. Because, Matthew was legitimately really fucking good at being a catfish. He was the only one that...
He was really... Everybody kept saying, Jackson's a catfish.
Yeah.
Isabella's a catfish. Kay's a catfish. Yeah. I don't know. Fucking Ava and whatever. But Matthew was the one catfish. Everybody thought this is definitely Ashley is real. She's 100%. And then you see Matthew walk into the room like, "Hey, I'm a catfish," and they were all shook. That was really fun though. That was a really fun part of that. He just walks in, they're all shook that he was a catfish. So he did such a good job.
No one saw.
Yeah, no, he definitely. Yeah, he did play a really strong game, and at this point, like I thought, okay, he's probably gonna win the game just because of the way they were hyping him up. I thought he was going to be the winner, but again, that's not exactly what ends up happening. But we then get to meet all of the block players, and everyone is shocked to find out that Rachel was Jackson. Calvin was just cracking me up here when he's like, "Wait, you were Jackson? What's going on?" And then Ruksana and Daniel have like this really sweet moment where like they hug, and I really enjoyed like their bond throughout the season. And then I love the moment where Calvin was just like, "Wait, who are you?" And it's like Jacki that comes in, and everyone's just so confused that like there was another. That was so good. That was so good.
That was funny because she was only there for 2 seconds. Poor girl.
Yeah, literally. Like, bring Jacki back. Like, give her a second chance. Circle second chances.
I feel Jacki should have came in, or Jacki, because she was such a big personality for me and stuck out so much this season. She should have been in a lot longer.
Yeah, like you said, she was screwed going into it just because of the fact that she was in so late into the game. Like, shit.
I wish she started from the beginning.
Yeah, if she had come in, like, let's say, like, the first half of the game, I legitimately think she had a case to win because of just how well insulated she was with everyone, especially for her short time in the game. But, you know, we can only go based off of, like, a week, so we're never really going to know. Like I said, circle second chances, just bring back Jacki. Bring back Jacki, bring back Michelle, bring back other people.
Oh,
like,
Michelle!
That's what we want to see.
That woman was fucked.
Yeah, don't get me started with that. But basically, we then get the host Michelle, not player Michelle, to interview them. This is gonna be very confusing whenever we say Michelle, because it's like, oh, you're talking about it's like orange and blue Michelle again, except it's host Michelle and player Michelle. So basically, she brings up how Ava and Chanel were blocked, and we see that Michelle is like very happy to hear about this, just because of like how poorly they ended up, playing her. But she then brings up Calvin getting to see Kay, and he says that he hopes to see what is up with her after the season, which, you know, as we've alluded to, definitely seems like he's still trying to pursue that. And good luck, because like I said, I really do like their relationship a lot, whether it's, you know, an actual relationship or just a friendship. Like, I just hope those two can continue to stay real close, because I really like what we got to see. But Michelle also brings up how Rachel got to meet Nick. Wait,
I was going to say, speaking of Calvin and Kay, the best ending. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of Calvin and Kay, the best ending of an episode was them almost sexting each other.
That was so good. Like,
we don't give up.
Like, yeah, that's all these endings are dramatic, and then that's the ending. They're over here sexting each other almost.
Yeah. Like I said, Kay and Calvin heart of the season.
I still can't get over that episode where it ends with them almost sexting.
Yeah, it's so good. But, so we do get a moment with Rachel, and they were trying way too hard, I feel like, to make Rachel and Nick a thing, where she admits that she has this crush on him, and it's like, okay, cool, I don't really care. But Ruksana's talked about the double blocking, and she says, while she shouldn't be a threat, she wasn't really in the game, but feels her connection with Daniel was the thing that made it all worth it with the mother and son type relationship. Again, Ruksana is someone I'd love to see brought back for like a second chances, because I feel like, again, she was basically just like a casualty of being close to Kay. That's the same reason Calvin went. So
love her.
Yeah, definitely would love to see Ruksana come back. But all the final five are then introduced. And as expected, the cast is pretty shocked to learn that Ashley wasn't real. And then Michelle just take the time to interview some of them a bit. And so she asked Nick how he played the game. And this was really funny to me, because he talks about how, I wanted to be strategic and a backstabber, and I want to do all this shit. And then he's like, but then I made a ton of friends, and it was really hard to block everyone. And I'm like, bullshit. You literally were like going so hard for people, like all fucking season. Did you watch the game? Do you know the game that you played? Like, this was not like a friendship game for you at all. You stuck close to the person you thought was attractive, and then you kept Ashley in there probably also because she was a blonde. And like you originally were going to simp over Ashley, and then Isabella walked in. You're like, okay, no, Isabella's replacing Ashley.
In reality, Ashley's portrayer is simping over Nick.
Yeah.
Like before,
Yeah,
Jackson in the loop before Jackson was blocked early on, so it was all like the pretty people in the band or whatever. And it was supposed to be like Jackson and Ashley, like, you know, a thing, and so they're just trying to double dip all the time.
Yeah, it was like the frat bros versus like, you know, the actual like nice people, you know, like that's kind of what the season was. So like for Nick to say, oh, I played this like friendship game, like fuck off. That's not what you did at all. So
It's
I was
just
very
funny
annoyed by that.
that his alliance was all catfish. Like his alliance was pure.
That is really
So
funny.
funny.
That is
really
what the
funny
beauty.
to me.
I thought the beauty of that whole thing. Nick was over here on Ruksana. It was on those people's asses all season, but his own people were the fucking catfish.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I know. It was
I
so
love
good. It was
all
touching.
his bands, his band had the 4 members, and 3 of those, and 3 besides him were all catfish.
Yep, that was a
don't even know how
great
to play
moment.
instruments.
I know.
Don't even know how to play the flute. Fake tape.
So she does again. Michelle brings up Rachel here, and he said that he was in shock when it turned out that she wasn't real. So Rachel admits that she picked Nick based on the fact that apparently she was like swooning over him, and they both seemed down to try something out after the show. I could give less of a fuck, but again, the show's like really pushing hard for it. So good luck to them, I guess. Whatever.
Got this, Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah.
During the finale, he did not seem interested in her, though.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel like he was
It was
either. I
like-
feel like it was pretty
he
like
was
one-sided.
I feel like he's more into Ava because he was like obsessed with her.
Oh yeah, he was. But I do feel like Nick is the kind of guy where it's like if you're blonde and somewhat attractive, he's going to like you. So I feel like she's going to find a way to like he's going to warm up to her like pretty quickly, and they're going to probably date for a little bit. At least I can see it happening.
Oh, no.
Like, I can definitely see it happening. So
I have to dye my hair brunette now.
well, he's not going to get you.
No.
Anyway,
Sorry,
okay.
I am just silly.
Yes. Okay.
All right. She then asked Sophia how it was playing Nick's girlfriend and her sister, and Sophia says she's a full-blown lesbian in a great relationship, so she kind of struggled with how to talk to men, but she took what she knew from Isabella in an effort to win and feels she really crushed the game.
I will say I did love the moment where Rachel's like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, and then Sophia just chimes in. It's like, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. I thought that was a great moment for her, where she's like, take him. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want any association with him whatsoever. So yeah, I thought that was a really. I honestly would have loved it if like by the end of the season she just like fucking hated Nick, but she did say that like they're gonna be friends apparently after this. If there's truth to that, I guess we'll see. But
Emphasis on
she says there.
I don't even like. Yeah, Nick is just kind of like douchey.
I'm looking on
very much so.
Instagram,
I give it a
and
month.
Rachel seems to have something. I don't know. She's literally been hanging out and chilling with Jack. So from last season.
Okay. So that's an interesting choice.
And also, Nick and Sophia are friends with each other because they comment on each other and follow each other on social media. So
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this cast is more cool. This cast is kumbaya. This cast is like season 1, and they're all kumbaya with each other. They're not season 2.
Season 2, like Tara Alicia literally isn't friends with anyone on that season anymore. She doesn't even want to be associated with that.
She doesn't.
The circle, which is crazy. So yeah.
All right. Michelle brings up Calvin to Kay, and if there was a spark between the two of them, and Kay brings up how she wasn't trying to have a showman's in the game, but she didn't, because she didn't want it to deter her from the game, but with how genuine and caring he was to her, she just had to go for it. While Calvin seems down to date her after, she seems like she wants to keep things open. Michelle jokingly says they can go on a double date with Rachel and Nick.
Which I thought was really funny when Kay's like, I don't know, we'll keep things open, we'll see how it goes, but like I definitely see those two getting together. Like I feel like I'd be very surprised if they didn't. I mean, looks at the end of episode 5. Like just that alone, it's like
well, we're just sending suggestive pictures to each other.
Yeah, literally.
She asked James how surprised he was becoming an influencer late in the game, and he admits he was shocked it happened, but also wasn't thrilled because he knew he had to block either Daniel or Ashley, and he clarifies to Daniel that coming in late in the game, he didn't know many of the connections, and with Nick telling him Daniel was in so many alliances, he just brought into it easily.
Which again, like this is why I'm not overly impressed by James as a player. I think he had a really strong social game, but he was misted by Nick almost the entire time. Anything that Nick told him to do, he did it. And that's why I'm just not overly impressed by James's strategic game. I think socially, yeah, he did great, but what did he do with his game? Probably the 2 worst moves of the season.
I liken a James sort of to the best analogy I could give is not really a circle one, but a big brother one, actually like an Enzo. Like I think he's great at cultivating these personal bonds. He's this great social player, but what he doesn't do with these relationships is capitalize on them and leverage these relationships to make some sort of like move. Like if Cody was able to sort of create this resistance against the Cody of the season, which I guess in this sense was Nick, then he could have done something about it and then
very much so. No, that's honestly a really good comparison because I do think there's a lot of similarities in their games where it's like James has the correct information. He is so close to like making that big move. He has 2 chances to do it and then completely botches that opportunity. So I will definitely agree with you there. But, we'll talk about what ends up happening. But I think there's one more thing we need to read, Allie, before we get to the winner.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Matthew is commended for catfishing so well, and he feels he was able to hide it well by being multi-faced and took certain people under his wing and showed many layers.
I really like the way he talked about this because it's true. Like, I feel like with the catfish, like they always have like one specific personality trait and they just kind of like run with that. What I think worked really well about like Matthew as Ashley is that he was multifaceted. Like he had different layers to him. There were things he kept adding to his personality. Like Ashley is actually a lesbian in real life, but he made her bisexual. That way he could get in with like Nick and things like that. So I thought it worked really well for him. It got him all the way to the end of the game. And yeah, I mean, I was very impressed by what he did overall. And like I said, at this point, with the way they were focusing on him, I really did think he was winning. But let's talk about what actually happened. So we do get to the winners here. And we get to 5th place, which I was very happy to see was in fact Nick, which was definitely the best outcome. 4 was Kay, which I was like, fuck. I was like, I kind of knew why. I understood why, but it was like, I feel like Kay absolutely played the best game out of everyone. So I was very shocked that I was very disappointed that she was rated so low. And then it comes down to Sophia, Matthew, and James. And at this point, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure the winner here is going to probably be Matthew. I didn't think the other 2 had much of a shot. Not the case. In 3rd place, we have Sophia. And then it comes down to Matthew and James with the winner of season 3 being James, of all people. And when this happened, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, look, James was a very likable personality, definitely more likable than most of the people this season. I'll definitely give him that. I did enjoy him pretty much all the way through as a character. I just don't think as a game player, he was that great. I think strategically,
I went in like obviously I wanted Kay to win, but I I was gonna be happy with any of the other winners as well. Just Nick was the only person I didn't want to win. But with James, Sophia, and Matthew, like I would have tolerated them because I like them. Like I was just hoping for Nick not to be, which I was very happy he was 5th.
I
exactly.
literally said in the circle chat, James is winning the season. Like on the 2nd, 3rd, something like that. I said James is winning.
You did
And
call
the
it.
reason why I'm saying he's winning is because, for one, Nick and Kay are too strong of game players to where they are going to get 4th, 5th. They're not going to get that number 1 or 2 spot. Also, I could have thought maybe Sophia could have had a chance, but I feel she was also a little too strong.
Yeah.
So the other 2
also gunning way too hard for some people. I think that also.
yes, that was her downfall. But the other 2, they were like, it's either going to be Matthew or Jay, and I'm like, it's because James getting the influencer spots all the times he did. I was like, James in Matthew only got like influencer 1. That was in the once.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, I knew James was like, just based on from what I was seeing, he was the one that was going to win. I feel, and I can agree on a social level, I think this is he was one of the best social players this season. Nobody felt bad with him. No one ever. They always had really good conversations with him. And I especially loved his bond that even though Jacki was in for that short time, I loved his bond with Jacki. That is what got Jacki into their alliance, was because of James. And that was the best thing. On a strategic level, I would have wanted to see a Matthew win because strategically, I think he came in and did what he needed to. And no one suspected he was a catfish either. And that should be a big, giant plus for being able to win the game.
Yeah.
But I think James was too likable, and I think that's what got him the win over Ashley.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes sense. I think that James was, the only person that ever was like really mad at James was Daniel. That's the only person who was like,
and Daniel's not there to rank people. Daniel is not there to rank people.
Yeah.
And literally you only have one person. You have 3 people in the band who would have wanted to see Daniel gone, and then you have Kay, and Kay's mentality, as long as it's not me. So Kay's not going to be upset. Daniel's not there.
Right.
So literally that gives James.
I think the one thing that really throws me off about this win, I said this to Allie, I just never felt like James had that like winner's edit where like, Delisa last season, like she definitely had like the strongest arc. We knew what her motivation was to win the game. Whereas here with James, he came in later, and I will say he pulled off a really impressive stat in that actually before this season, none of the intruders were influencers, and both him and Sophia ended up pulling that off this season with him winning influencer like a bunch of times. So I do think that is really impressive. It's really cool that he was able to pull off that stat as well as Sophia. I just feel like overall, it's just a pretty underwhelming winner for me. I think he played a strong game, but I don't know. I would have much rather had it be Kay or Matthew. I think they played the stronger games overall. I think that they did a better job at really representing, what the circle is. I think James did a good job in that social aspect, but I just think the strategic part of it just very messy for me. So I don't know. Jen, what's your take on James winning?
I think that well, yes, he may have not made the best decisions for his alliance as a whole. At the end of the day, he got to the end and he got the W, and he did what he needed to get there. So I have nothing but respect for that, and I enjoyed him from the second he got there. So I was overall satisfied with James as a winner. Yeah.
I definitely feel another thing now that I think about it, I feel if he did not eliminate Daniel and Daniel happened to make the top 5, I don't think Daniel would have ranked him in a place where he needed to get that win. But he could have.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
could very well, but no, and my other favorite, I will say my other ultimate, well, another cool stat, I guess, is that James came in later. The first Delisa and Joey, they were already since episode 1 were in the first group, and they had more time to implement themselves in the game, and James adapted so quickly to those people. And that's what really helped him.
Because he was one of the last people, and I think maybe besides Jacki, right?
Yeah.
He came in after. He came in. It was Rachel and Sophia, and then he came in after them.
Yeah.
He came in
he also
second batch, I think. That's when he made his debut. Yeah, it was the second batch. But he adapted so quickly to those people, and he got the influencer spot to where he needed to. We've not seen that in this series. It's usually the people in the first group. They're the ones who are getting all the power. And it's really...
Yeah, and that was definitely impressive. It did feel like the intruders had more of a chance this season, which I appreciated. And I think James especially
definitely did. Like the only intruders, season 1, none of the intruders made the finale. It was all day 1 people. Then you have season 2, you only literally have Jack was in the day 1 group, but Lisa was not, and Lisa got to finale. But they ended up getting 5th place. Yeah. So, they definitely had more
flopped horribly.
They had more of a shot. And then I can comment on the other thing. We have another Black winner this season. And the Black, and I said this on Twitter last night. The Black men have taken over reality TV this season, and they really have. They came in,
for sure.
Big Brother Canada, The Circle, Big Brother US, and I think we had another Black couple winner in Love Island. The Black men are taking over reality TV.
Oh yeah.
The last of the season, technically.
Yeah.
True.
That is true. Yeah, if you're going based off of who they catfished as, no, I will say the one thing definitely that is impressive about James, he by far, I think, had the best read on things the entire season. He had the correct information. He didn't always do the best with it, but I think Michelle does sum it up best at the end, where she basically says, it's not necessarily about how long he plays the game, it's how he finished it, and he definitely finished it in a really good way. I also liked how we actually found out in this episode something that I didn't realize. He's not married. It's actually the girl that he talks about, they're not married, and apparently it was because of financial issues, and now he's gonna use that money probably to finally make that wedding happen. So I thought that was a good ending. I liked finding that out because
they're engaged now because and because Kay said it, and he said it. He calls her his fiance, and Kay said James and his fiance. So they're engaged.
Okay. He sent that money in a nice way for her, huh?
Yes. Yeah, he'll definitely be putting that money to good use. But other than that, that's the end of this season of The Circle. Like I said, I don't think it's a terrible winner or anything. I think it just sums up the season for me, where it's it's a fine winner. Definitely. I liked James overall, but I just wanted a little bit more. And that's really how I feel about this entire season. I wish there was more to it. And a lot of these characters, they just didn't stick out all that much to me. A lot of them I thought left either way too early, and the ones that stayed, I really grew tired of them, especially Nick, and things like that. So I think they definitely could have done, I wish that we would have had a much more likable cast. Every single twist they implemented this season fell flat on its face, and there wasn't a single one that I think really did anything to benefit the game, whether it's Vince, whether it's...
I wouldn't say the season is like terrible. It's just some of the people were kind of some people were just kind of there for me, and it wasn't like a terrible season, but obviously it wasn't as strong as the other two. I think, but like I wouldn't say I hate it though.
No, I didn't hate it either. I did hate all the twists, though. I thought that absolutely
the twists were not great.
They all flopped, failed, did horribly. Except the only thing that had a little success with it was the Vince thing, because nobody thought it was fucking Nick until Nick said something.
Jacob seems to love the Vince thing.
Yeah, Vince's my favorite player this season. I love Vince. I stand to Vince.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Nick's a completely different person when he puts on the
robbed.
cloak. All of a sudden, he's interesting. I'm invested. Like, no, like
I just think that twist was just very like pointless, and it was just too overpowering.
It was very overpowered. Yeah,
because Nick kept getting so much power.
Well, I'm trying to think. Calvin, you should have given that to Kay. Come on now.
Yes,
absolutely.
Why?
Like if Kay gets that, the game is like completely different.
Literally, why did he do that?
I don't know. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts. Like I said, I didn't hate the season. It's very mid-tier for me though, especially compared to last season, which I enjoyed quite a bit. This season is very much like a C for me. So yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at with it. Is there anything else we want to say before we close things out?
There's
and let everyone plug
I want to say.
Okay, Jen.
So I got this is unrelated. I got my alcohol delivery.
Yay!
From 7-Eleven.
And they gave you the wrong alcohol.
Look, enjoy by July.
Oh my god.
Oh
you
no.
Really just need to stop ordering things online. This is like
catfish as
unreal. So you know what I'm doing? I'm saying fuck it.
Is he drinking it?
Like, I'm gonna drink it anyway.
If I die, I die.
I guess so. Damn. All right. Well, on that note,
I will say one more thing too. I will say, we gotta be ready for more circle seasons, because apparently, from my understanding, they filmed a couple during quarantine. So
yeah, I think they have season 4 ready.
It's a nice and easy one to film in quarantine. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's
also catch me when I apply for a
house.
future.
I think it's just very easily to.
It's so
catch
quick.
Me when I apply for a future season 2. I'm going in as a male because 1, I am a Republican male. 2, to look at my experience in the org community summarizes for why I should go in as a male.
Oh my god! Wow, coming to slay though.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you'll do great. But no, I will say, yeah, it is very easy to like phase people in and out. Apparently, also the next season they're going to combine they're going to open it up to UK players. So I think we're going to get more of a international type cast. So that should be really fun.
Interesting. I saw they were doing that. Well, they canceled the circle that was aired in the UK, and I think that's why they opened it up.
Right, that's probably why, because they still want to let the UK people have a chance to play the game. So that's really good. The one thing we did.
Chloe will have her Brit game now.
yeah, Chloe's gonna come back just to be like, you know what? I'm the recruiter. I'm here to recruit people for the UK portion. So I'm excited to see how that goes down. I guess the only thing we need to say is that Kay was the winner of fan favorite, which is great.
Yes.
That's who should have won. So I'm very happy that.
That's who should.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
actually, I thought she could have, I thought it was going to be her or Ruksana, because Ruksana won the other 2 fan favorite polls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then because Ruksana was not in the finale, I think that's what bumped her up there. And I think that's how Kay got that win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
That was my winner.
Ruksana just wasn't around enough. So.
In my heart,
she's Rob.
Fan favorite. And I'll live with that.
Yes. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and let everyone do their outros here. Starting off with apparently the real Jen.
Hey guys, I've been listening to season 4. I'm office now. I was so drawn to Vince that I decided to change my alias. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. I ranked this season a D for if Jen dies, she dies. So like what I like okay, so I like so everyone in the finals, right? I've either loved them like as a person, but hated their game, or vice versa.
Yes.
Like they annoyed the living hell out of me, but I admitted that they were playing a good game, or vice versa. Their gameplay frustrated me, or I liked them as a person. And the one person who I wanted to win my preseason winner pick, coming off of getting it right in BB King, getting it right now in BBUS, dashed second again, because that's why I always get. Either I get second or I get first. But that's it. This has been Jennifer from the Circle Season 4, and remember, stay true to yourself.
All right, let's go to the fake Jen now.
Plot twist. Who's the real Jen?
I don't know.
It's not me. I'm the fake Jen. It's true.
Why can't Jen
wait, who's the blue Jen? Who's the orange Jen? We need to figure that out.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying right now.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Speak your mind. Just talk about the circle. What your final thoughts are, your final grade.
I don't know. Plug your shit.
Grade C. Just a straight C. Not a C plus, not a C minus, a C.
A 75.
Yeah. I think the latter half of the game was more interesting.
Yes.
Overall pleased with the winner. Overall pleased with Nick losing miserably in the end. And yeah, I'm excited for next season when I come to Slay.
All right, so we're gonna have Grace on there, we're gonna have Marcelo on there, and we'll have Jen on there. They're all gonna kill it. Or speaking of Grace, we're gonna let Grayson give a chance to
not a Republican.
Yes, y'all, you seen it here. I said it on the said it earlier. Catch me on a future season of The Circle where I will be catfishing as a male. I will be a crazy ass motherfucking female, but I will have a male photo. Thank you to I want to thank the org community personally thank the org community for motivating me to wanting to play a male. Because women need to start being treated better. That's what I gotta say for that. But for real, this was a blast to have on. Even though this season was just meh for me and I couldn't finish the episodes, I still really love this series a lot. But for this season, I'm gonna agree with everyone else. It is a C. It's mid-tier because there were some good moments, but holy hell, some of those people were just not it. And it was just the Nick show. No. I'm like, no. He played a good game, but just no. But yeah, that was but that's what I got. Y'all catch me on the future, like I said, catch me on a future season of The Circle and catch me. And they saw my Twitter handle. Catch Petty Outsay to come out and fuck some shit up.
Yes.
Period. We do love that a lot.
And also Sean and Marcel over here, so shout out to them.
Yes. We do have their Twitters. That's Sean's and Marcelo's somewhere. I don't know. Let me look. It's like where is it? I don't know what.
If you're not already following Marcelo, then what are you even doing with your life? That's the real tea.
Yeah. Okay. There it is. All right. Marcelo Goose 96. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So, anyway, other than that, that's really it for our review of the finale of The Circle. It's been an interesting season for sure. There were points where I wanted to stop watching, but in the end, it ended a lot better than I think it could have. Overall,
I probably rate this season like C minus.
Yeah, that's probably a good place to end it. But we do have a couple things I think to plug, Allie. Right after this, we're going to be doing our Big Brother 23 finales, so definitely look forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what mishap Jen's going to have in that one, but that should be fun to see. Oh, Marcelo's back. We're about to wrap this up. So
what's up? What's the tea? What did I miss?
Oh my god, I had you posted
oh yeah.
What are we talking about?
We're just wrapping this up, and yeah, yeah, we're talking about how excited we are to see you on the circle.
As you should be. As you should be.
Yes.
When I catfish as Jen and Jen catfishes as me.
Period.
We're gonna win.
Well, what's confusing is that apparently Jacob is the real Jen, and this is the fake Jen. So, like, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, I love that. Oh my god, I'm here for it. Well, I'll let you wrap up.
So
I was going to be here for the wrap up.
Okay. One last time. Marcelo Goose 96. Follow him there.
Period. That was me. Thank you. Follow me if you want any content. I will be an influencer very shortly.
Period. Here for it. All right. So, like I said, immediately after this, we are going to be doing our finale coverage for Big Brother 23. So look forward to that. We do have a Survivor podcast that we're doing as well, Ascendance Live, and we plug this every single time because we just love good old self-promotion, right, Allie? Apply for Spotlight. It's a game.
Yes,
it's a Survivor org. Grayson is also on prod for it, so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool shit planned, and we really hope that some of y'all can apply because I think it's gonna be a really fun game overall.
Grayson is going to be doing a fun project with this series, so y'all stay tuned on what that will be.
Ooh, okay.
That I will be doing with one of my fellow prod members. So.
And that's what you missed on what? Spotlight.
Oh!
Yes, Gleevivor, as we affectionately call it.
That's what you missed on.
Mr. Shu, if you're watching, call me.
I do not have the connections to get you to Matthew Morrison, but I hope that there's a way to make that happen. But anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to head off to the Big Brother 23 one for whoever's coming on for that, and we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.